If you've ever had the feeling that your horse is doing what you're asking, giving you the right responses to cues, but isn't actually in a real-time conversation with you, or maybe you're getting the technical response, but you know your horse isn't really with you, that the mind is distracted in somewhere else. In this video, I go into the foundations that are behind that very feeling. Honor came to us a few months back in the late fall, and we've been working with him through winter to get him more comfortable and confident being handled by us, and that's going really well. But I had gotten stuck trying to get him to accept a rope and halter, and at some point, even though I've been doing this for years now, I realized I'd gotten things backwards. In our last video, we talked about this little guy going back to school and starting his education for spring, where I now have given up trying to start with the halter and the rope, and I went back to the core fundamentals of getting his mind centered on me, and I realized it's a great opportunity to show my viewers what that looks like from step one. Because before the halter and the rope, before the riding, before anything, connection has to come first, and this little guy reminded me of that very thing. Well, we left off last time with him in the jungle, but we have moved him into the classroom, and you can see this is my gate door that he's standing at. And what we did to get him over here without a halter is created a little school hallway. You can kind of see it heading from one gate to the next. And that is how he comes in and out of the classroom from now on, until we can just stick a halter on him and move him like a normal horse. Yeah, buddy. I spend most of my time helping out horses and their riders who have been using a direct pressure and driving paradigm that taps into the horse's adrenaline system. We know that horses are flight creatures. And so when we use their direct pressure driving system, it taps right into that fight or flight center for them, and it's really effective. So most training programs are based on some form or another of that. And a lot of horses cope pretty well and figure out the system and work within it okay. So it tends to be the mainstream that I see. However, some horses don't do well long-term under this because the stress and adrenaline levels in order to stay in that fight-flight mode in the work that they do is just more than they can handle. And what a common response is they go from flight, which is a horse's first response, but they can't often really flight or escape when they're working with the human due to being on a lead rope or under saddle with a bit and bridle, or even sometimes a round pen. When that availability of flight to get away from the issues is closed off to them, a lot of them will turn to fight. And so if you find yourself fighting with your horse, that could be because they aren't able to really get away with the flight, and so they've turned to fight. And that tends to be what people call a problem horse, and those are the horses I spend a lot of time with. However, with Honor, he's pretty green. He has had some experiences coming from a BLM Mustang background that he would have found pretty traumatic, even though people have the best of intentions and are, I think, doing the best that they can in the circumstances they're given. So he has some experiences that are, in his mind, I'm sure, and understanding, negative. So that's our starting point with him. And when he came, it was pretty tough to just get our hands on him at all. He didn't trust, he was pretty flighty. And the winter was really spent getting him to realize that he could trust us to touch, pet, rub on him. And I'm gonna say his biggest concern seems to be being trapped or caught, which makes a lot of sense. Now he's come a long way with trusting us. One of the biggest factors in that, in my opinion, has been that I have not trapped or caught him with, let's say, a rope or a halter. And even the round pen or the jungle space he spent the winter in gave him a lot of freedom to be able to interact at his own comfort level. And that is a great start. Oddly enough, when it was time to start moving his education forward, I went right to the assumption that I needed to get a rope or halter. And I do actually think that's important for these guys, but I began the cart before the horse, so to speak. And I went right to, how can I train you to accept the halter? I would think I would know better by now, but old habits die hard, and I still revert to the things I used to know. That's okay, because we can always go back and start again. I talk a lot about my Mustang mare Wyoming because she had the biggest impact on my horsemanship journey when she went from flight to fight, and with a passion. That horse could not handle the amount of pressure that the direct driving work we did together put on her system, and it was just too much for her. And thankfully, these horses have a ridiculously high amount of grace. The problem I've come to see with driving pressure and the way that most round pen work goes is that we chase the horse, which puts them into flight mode, which is high adrenaline. And at some point, that chasing doesn't feel very good to them. And when we stop chasing and allow them to come in, we get a draw from that. And that draw, it shows up as the horse coming to be with us because they want the relief, but it doesn't really feel good to them because they know that we were the ones chasing them to begin with. And so that's a kind of a punishment-based system where we up the pressure if they don't respond how we like. And actually, when we are looking for a higher level of performance from the horse, the punishment system amps up because if they don't make the choice to comply quickly enough, often the pressure goes up and up, even to the point of maybe a rope touching the hind end or a flag making contact. And the horses will respond to that because they don't want to be in that punishment paradigm. But often they really don't feel that great about it. So the round pen work that I do looks a little different. And I learned this from working with Harry Whitney and Tom Motes, and my appreciation to them and what they've taught me. I do my best to walk out their systems. I don't do it perfectly. And so if you really want to learn what this is all about, highly recommend finding one of them to learn from directly. They are gracious and fabulous horsemen. So when I'm in a round pen with a horse, the first thing I do is not send off the horse or drive the horse away. I don't chase the horse. What I'm going to do first is try to draw that horse's attention to me. A horse will generally head toward their primary thought. So if the horse's primary thought is either outside the pen with a friend, or maybe the place they came from, or in this case, possibly snacking on some hay, then I need to become more important than those other things. And so I will create an environmental disturbance in order to bring that horse's attention back to me. Horses love balance. They're drawn to balance and harmony. And so what I would rather do is have a horse drawn to finding balance and harmony with me in their space than pushed away and in flight from being punished. So step one, make an environmental imbalance. And this is where you get to be creative and find what works best for you. I often will slap my leg. I'll make a noise like that. If I have a flag, because I need maybe a bigger disturbance or environmental imbalance, I might wish my flag up and down, but I use my flag differently. I'm not going to chase the horse with the flag or use it to direct energy at the horse. Instead, I'll direct it right where I'm at, kind of like my own Tasmanian Devil Chaos Party. And instead of driving the horse off and having the horse have to go run and flee, and then want to stop fleeing, so then hope that they can ask me to be able to enter my space. Instead of that, I create a noise that makes them kind of stop what they were thinking and focus in and try to find out, what is it that I'm doing and what might I want? Then the horse begins to be drawn to me because I've created an imbalance in the environment that they are going to think through and pursue how to change. Horses will do a lot to correct an imbalance. And when they're trying to correct an imbalance, I have seen that they can do it in a more searching and thoughtful way, which is different than when they're tapped into having to fight flight. I love that he's willing and curious. And the first conversations I ever have with the horse is just drawing them back over to saying, when I come in and want to work and it's school time, I just want you to stay connected to me. Because how are we going to learn or talk if we're disconnected? So whenever he's got his mind on the environment or the other horses, there's not connection. So conversation starter number 1 is just stay focused on me. In the beginning, it needs to become a way of life. At some point with my horses who've gotten a little more education, they can keep their minds on other things and still keep me in mind that if I ask them for something, they're available. But in the beginning, now see, that little nip comes in, and I'm pretty sure that he's not used to having a human say, I require your full attention for a little while. And he'd rather be able to put his attention on other environmental things. And so when I really demand that he stay in there with me, there's a little unhappiness about that, but it's okay because he's going to start to learn that if he stays with me, it's a good thing. This is nice. Good boy. Good boy. Good. Now, one of the ways I'm going to make this relationship good for him is I'm not going to punish or threaten him. I may create environmental imbalance, but that's different than chasing him or punishing him. Good boy. Good boy. So conversation 1, can you give me your attention, is going all right. Now there, he's thinking off a little. I'm going to ask, can you come back? Now, I'm not mad about him wanting to look around. There's no sense of you're wrong or you're doing something bad. It's only going to be, can you come back? Can you come back? And I'll just keep inviting him to come back as many times as I need to. Good. Because all of the work that I do with my horses, ideally, I want it to be an invitation. Good. Can you follow me around a little? Oh, I know. Come on. Come on. Stay with me. Now you're a little lost. Can you come back? Good job. Good job. Good job. Now the conversation I'm having is, can you track with me? And can you maybe follow me a little and approach? Good. And I know that there could be people watching that would tell me that there are more effective or efficient ways to get this job done, but that's not what I'm looking to do. My real goal here is to create a language between us that we can build on together, and a trust that he can find that I'm not going to be a human that drives him around, puts a lot of pressure on him directly. And if he has had any work done, that's probably some of what's been done, because it is a little more effective. So it's going to take time. Relationships take time to develop trust. See, you got a little lost? Me slapping my leg and moving is an environmental imbalance, kind of an indirect pressure. There we go. That's how I draw him back into that conversation. And I'll keep doing it as much as I need, and he might get a little annoyed with me because you can see when he comes back, he passes me. It's like, we kind of call it a drive-by. When I think he's centered in, I'll come in and give him a pat. Good boy. Yeah. After the horse begins to draw to me more consistently, the next thing I'll do is begin to see if I can direct their thought in a different way. So first, I have to be able to draw them in. And then second, you'll see I begin to say, hey, can you look over there? Can you look over there and see what's of interest over there? And as I begin to get the ability to direct them at liberty first, sometimes with a lead rope where you can add some feel, then I just get them to be able to take their energy, take their thought, and look in different directions. And while I'm in here working, I'd like him to stay centered. All right, the first thing I'm gonna do is just find out, can I, from centered, get him to start looking one direction? Yeah, that's real nice. Good boy. That's a pretty nice look. Like he actually moved to look. Then I want to see if I can bring him back and draw him in. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. That was really nice. Good boy. So I want to be able to draw him back. Good boy. In the beginning, whenever you're learning something new, there's going to be a little or a big learning curve. Since this isn't training, right? I'm not trying to get an automated response from him. Good boy. Thank you. Now he's a little not centered on me. So he came in physically, but not completely mentally. Yeah. That's a lot. Yes, that's a good one. Good boy. Sometimes a horse will keep you close physically because they're having a hard time really committing mentally. And that's all right. It's just stuff to grow through. And the more I ask him to stay with me mentally, hopefully he'll be able to handle it both mentally and physically. So now I'm going to ask him again, can you look that way? Can you look that way? Good boy. And I just want to look. Then I'm going to open that space up and tell him he's a good boy. Very good. Now, can you look that way? This way's harder. That's it. And if he walks, takes a step back, that's okay. Right now, it's really about where his mind's going, and he's not comfortable with me being in that space. So in order for him to look and expose that side of his head and neck, he may feel like he's got to take a step back. I can honor that. How about back to this direction? It's a little easier. Nope. And if he's looking the other way, I just hang in and keep. Yes. That's it. That was good. That was good, you silly goose. Yeah. So as I slap my leg, it just makes an imbalance in the environment. I'm still seeing if he'll take a look over this way. See, I'm not chasing him. I'm not driving him. I'm just asking him to keep looking. Yes. That's a really good look. Try that way again. Good boy. Now I'm just going to have him look that time because that was a really nice. Once that's working for me, all right, then I'll start to add some momentum to it and say, can you look over there a little stronger and can you take your feet with you? That way now, as you notice, the body's actually following the mind. And if I can start directing their thought on the ground, even just at liberty, which this is also a different kind of liberty work than a lot of people are doing when they talk about doing liberty. I want the horse moving toward a thought and toward a feel. Instead of being driven, I want the horse to go toward. There he is. It's as simple as that, but it does take a little bit of work to get this conversation started. And I feel like there is certainly some room to grow here. It's just barely starting to get settled. So if I ask him to, yep, what a nice boy. Smarty pants. And then when I'm ready, I like it. Now I'm gonna draw him back in. So I go quiet, I stop the movement in my body, and I tell him, thanks for coming back. It's really nice. Really nice. Huh. Really nice. Can you think that way? It's a little harder. Can you think that way? Good. Good. I know you don't want me in there, but we can be all right. Try again. So go. Can you go that way? Good. See if he can walk. And I'll pick up my energy a little. Up. And I'm just gonna block him from coming back in. Now I'm gonna see. Good. That's all right. That was good. So he's worried about me in there, and he really communicated that. Were you worried about that? Let's try again. Come on back. And the thing is, he can communicate concerns to me. It's okay. We just keep working through them together. This side he's more comfortable with me on. Let's see if we can get that side going a little more. That's not the way I wanted. So what I do is I just hang in there and I say, no, yes, thank you. Notice I just kept asking till he gave me what I was looking for. Good boy. I tried not to up the pressure or make it a wrong answer. He's searching for what we're trying to do here, and I want him to feel like he has the freedom to do that. Let's try it this way. Good, very good. Let's see if he can take a little long. Oh, that trip he just came back, and I'm okay with that. Let's see if I can draw him in more. Come on. Yeah. That's not so bad, little guy. That's not so bad. Yeah. And I notice where he's looking is probably where his primary thought and attention is. Good. So I'm looking for him when I'm here for him to center in with me. Then I can try again and see if I can add a little motion to it. Little motion to it. There it is. Good boy. Keep asking. Go on out. Good boy. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. Now I'll bring him back. Go soft in my body. Yeah. Come on in. You're doing great. Good. So the difference when I'm clicking and tapping my leg, it is adding environmental imbalance. It's upping a kind of pressure, but it's an indirect pressure. And so the difference is I'm not chasing at him with that pressure. I'm just upping it in my own area. That was really good. Oh, he got a little lost going the wrong way. It's okay. We're still new at this. I'm just gonna kind of block him and say, can you try again? It's okay. Good boy. That's it. Good boy. Nice job. And then I'm going to quiet down and bring him back. Really well done. That's the basic parameters of how to start these conversations with our horses. The very foundation and the very core of the work that I do is to begin a communication and a conversation where the horse is invited to problem solve, to think, and to start to find ways to correct an imbalance in their environment where now they're not in their adrenal system, but they're actually calm and confident, knowing that they can have the time to think through what's happening and trust them that they're going to do it if I give them the opportunity. What I realized with Honor is that I had begun working on the external, putting on a halter, getting him to accept a lead rope, and neglecting the basic internal pieces that are what I normally would start with any horse. So how do you begin this journey? Well, first thing is to have that shift of thinking where you're not just trying to get the meat to move around in the direction that you're asking, not just the technical response, but you're wondering first, where is their mind, and can that mind be with you, and can you start to direct that mind? These videos with Honor, I hope, show you what some of that looks like. Sometimes these approaches can look similar from the outside, and only you know what your true intention is. So the two pieces of advice I would give anybody who wants to start moving down this path more intentionally is, are you working on the mind or are you working on the meat? When you're working on the meat, that's just the horse's physical body. If you're just trying to move the horse's physical body around and not thinking about how to get the mind working first, that's a red flag for me. The other thing is, if you need to use a flag or a rope or a tool, are you using it at the horse, or are you creating an environmental imbalance that the horse can respond to? Those two questions really help clarify what your approach is and where your core values are. I know people have asked me, why bother going this route when it takes a little more time and direct pressure and driving a horse around? It sure is quicker to get the response that we're looking for. It took my Mustang mare telling me she could not handle the pressure for me to make this change. However, I'm really glad I did. My horses are more confident in their work. The relationship feels better between us, and I now have a confidence with enough time and patience, we can do just about anything as long as we do it together. It's a big deal to have a horse that isn't operating from fear of punishment, but moving towards their thought, and I would not go back for the world. Thank you for watching my videos. And I hope these sessions with Honor have helped you get a picture of what it looks like when I start bringing a horse's mind to be centered with me, and then how to begin directing their thoughts towards something instead of chasing them away or sending them into flight. If you have questions about this, please get in touch with me. I'm always available to talk through how this process works. Jamie@hopehorsemanship.com is the best way. We'd love for you to join our community if you'd like to be surrounded by people who are trying to work these things out in real time. If you're in the Virginia area, we'd love to see you at a clinic this year. We welcome Tom Moats a few times a year to come and show us how to do this at a higher level. Subscribe to my channel so that you never miss an update of how Honor's education is progressing and all the other horses that come through the Hope Horsemanship world. Till next time, have a great day.